John's son stared at the sky in astonishment. He looked up with curiosity. A large formation of military aircraft was flying overhead. A bright light appeared in the sky. It was the Clark comet that had been making headlines recently. Reports said it was the closest comet to Earth in recorded history. While John was shopping at the supermarket, his phone suddenly blared an alarm. He looked around and noticed no one else had received it. Then a call came from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. John and his family had been selected to enter a secure shelter. On his way home, he saw large numbers of troops gathering. When he returned home with his son, he found the neighbors gathered in his living room watching TV. The first fragment of the comet was about to fall into the Atlantic Ocean. Experts said that when the fragment entered the atmosphere, it would almost completely burn up and pose no threat to the public. People gathered to witness the spectacle. The comet fragment entered the atmosphere, igniting into a fireball, and plunged downward rapidly. After impact, there was a brief moment of silence. As everyone waited to see the fragment splash into the sea, John sensed something was wrong and ran outside to check. The next second, a massive shockwave threw him to the ground. He quickly ran back inside. No one felt like watching anymore. To everyone's shock, the fragment had struck Central Florida. It was roughly the size of a football field. The shockwave could be felt more than 2,400 kilometers away. Panic spread everywhere. Then John received another presidential alert. While his neighbors' phones remained silent, the Department of Homeland Security called again. John's and his family's names appeared on the TV screen. They were instructed to reach a designated Air Force base by 9:45 p.m. No one else was allowed to accompany them. The agents sent John a QR code verifying his identity. Upon arrival at the base, they would need to show the code to gain flight clearance. The neighbors returned home to wait for official instructions. Outside, John's son Nathan gazed at the sky. He noticed it looked as though it were on fire. John urged him to get back inside immediately. The family drove toward the Air Force base. They drove from daylight into night. John's wife tried to call her father, but the line never connected. By then, people were already looting supermarkets along the roadside. Nathan, who suffered from congenital diabetes, accidentally dropped his medicine in the car while reaching for a blanket. The radio kept broadcasting updates about the comet. Thousands of fragments were expected to strike the planet over time. They varied greatly in size. NASA had detected one massive fragment, so large it could wipe out all life on Earth. It was expected to collide with the planet within 2 days. In other words, the world had only 2 days left.